Welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast where sports and convos collide. I'm your host, Kobe Turner, aka the Cobra.
Welcome to the No Cap Sports Shows where Old Dog and Kobe are like the man. Group. We got Johnny Gill and Bobby Brown. They beefing right now, so we don't know where they at. But it's your boy Old Dog, aka O. What's up with you, cuz?
Ain't nothing, cuzzo, man, trying to get through this work week, but all is good, man. We back here live in full effect, ready
No
for this
doubt.
great show that we got in store for our viewers and listeners.
No doubt. Always got a good show. Always got a good show. You know that for sure.
Yes, sir. What you think about those March Madness games so far?
Oh, it's been a great tournament, man. I love it. I love the. I mean, I love it. I mean, you got a couple upsets there. Excuse me. I thought St. John's was going to at least make it to the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
That knocked it out a little bit, man. Shout out to the SEC in basketball. What? They are letting it be known, dude. They not just a football conference. We basketball too.
Yeah, they broke the record. They got 14 teams into the tournament. That's
Come
crazy.
on, man. Come on. How many they got in the Sweet 16? What they got? 6?
Yeah,
Something
so
crazy.
just under half of those teams. Yep.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Shout out to the SEC, man. It's been some good bump, man. I'm anxious to see how this Sweet 16 going play itself out. Shout out to the women's tournament. Oh man, God, taking my hat off real quick to Juju, man.
yeah.
Thoughts and prayers to her and her family and her team. Whoever is a part of her team has to understand they got to be there through it all. So she gonna need all our prayers and everything. The ACL is definitely a tough injury to come back from, especially when you're having something so late in the season, right? It's different if you have it early in the season and then she come back then late in the season. So, she's not gonna have the surgery and then all that stuff. So she probably won't play again until probably next year, the end of this, if she plays at all next year. So I know they have advanced medicine. Trust me, I know all about that and stuff like that. But shout out to her and her team and wishing them nothing but a healthy recovery. But with that being said, UConn women is balling, going crazy. Maryland, both Maryland teams in the Sweet 16. How about that? University of Maryland. It's been good bump, man. It's a great time of year, man. I love it. What you think?
Yeah. No, I agree with you, and I think the women's game is exciting me just as much as the men's game. I think I watched probably more women NCAA games than I have on the men's side because I think we talked about it last week. They have like the marquee names, like the names that that draws you to the game. Like the men, they got some ballers. Don't get me wrong, but they don't have those marquee names where you like, oh, I'm gonna turn to the and watch this team because such and such playing for them. I mean, of course, the boy from Duke and stuff like that. But if you go overall, you really don't have a connection with the players on the men's side like you do with the women's side. But I agree with you, man. I watched that game, the USC game, and when that play happened with Juju and they showed it in slow motion, I knew. I knew that wasn't good news. I just saw the way her knee moved, man. That was just sad, man. She's my favorite.
We are athletes, so we know, we done seen a bunch of them. You know what I mean? So we know what it looks like or whatever. I just wish she would have gave the ball up. It was a girl in front of her to her left. Get the ball up. I mean, not she's probably done that same move 1,000 sometimes, 100,000 sometimes. But damn, I wish she would have just passed the ball ahead, and it was somebody out in front of her. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
not saying that it wouldn't have happened, but damn, just get somebody out in front of you and give it up, get the ball up. You know what I mean? Sometimes
yeah,
you don't never know, but
yeah,
Paige. Shout out to UConn win Paige and Fudd. They done went through ACL injuries and bounced back, and what Paige Beckham is doing now, that's what it's about. So she got to look and see, people who have bounced back from ACL injuries and come back and did what they supposed to do. So she'll be good. She out there with USC, best in LA, some of the best doctors in the world. So she gonna be straight.
yeah, for sure. And shout out to UConn women. They look strong, man. I think that's who I'm riding with for the rest of the tournament. Now I had USC at first, but obviously with Juju not playing, I don't think they can win it all. But UConn looking strong. AZ Fudd back healthy. She's looking good.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the rest of the tournament, but not more excited than I am about our guest that we have
I know
for
it brings
tonight.
us right to our guest. Shit, let's get
Yeah,
it on.
absolutely. So tonight's guest is a legendary basketball player from Alexandria, Virginia, where she was a high school all-region, all-state, all-met, and all-American, including McDonald's All-American out of T.C. Williams High School.
Also, she
Before
went to TC. She didn't go to the Alexander. What's it called? The School of Alexander.
Alexandria City High School. Yeah, she
Yeah,
didn't
she
go
didn't
to
go
the
to
fake
that.
school. She
Yeah.
went to the real school.
Oh, she went to where my uncles, all my uncles and my dad and them went. The real TC.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
So then she took her talent to the University of North Carolina, where she earned first team All ACC honors. After graduating from UNC, she went on to have a 7-year WNBA career with the Washington Mystics and the Los Angeles Sparks. So without further ado, welcome to the No Cap Sports Show podcast, Tierra Ruffin-Pratt.
Yo,
What up, T?
up?
What's happening?
Not much.
TC
I
in the
can't call it.
building.
Yeah, good to see you. Finally got you on the show. You always been at the top of my list.
Hey, I've been so busy on the move back and forth from Portland, DC, Mississippi. I've been on the move, so it's good to be here. Good to be on the podcast. We finally made it happen.
Yes.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Always.
So let's jump right into this thing. I know we have a lot of viewers and listeners waiting to hear from you. So what we like to do, we like to start at the very beginning. So T, if you can tell us, like, when did you get into sport, and when did you know basketball was the sport of that you wanted to take and use as a tool to get you to where you got? And last, who was the person that inspired you to play basketball?
Yeah, so I started playing when I was 6 down at Cord Kelly Rec Center. My cousin Julian, he said he was going out to play basketball at the rec, so I just kind of followed him down there. We was always there anyway, so he went out to play, and I decided to go play with him, play with the boys. Basically until I couldn't anymore. They told me I couldn't play and had to go play with the girls. They ended up playing. That was at Cord Kelly, probably up until like 12U or something like that. Ended up going into the AAU circuit playing with a team called Braddock Road Tar Heels, which is crazy because I ended up in North Carolina. But that was the first AAU team I kind of played on. Playing with them, I got seen by the Fairfax Stars. So I played with the Fairfax Stars for a few years. But ultimately ended up playing with Boo Williams. Played with Boo Williams from the time I was 13 until I graduated high school, and then ended up in North Carolina. Had a good career there, and then ended up going non-drafted, but playing in the W. Had 8-year career, 6 years in DC at home, and then 2 years in LA. So pretty decent career for somebody who went undrafted. Can't complain.
Shit, that's a great career, but hey, look, but you went so fast. Hold up, we gotta take it. We gotta take our time. We got some time. Shit, we talk
Hey, I just been through.
Hey, so you got when you went. So was TC? Did you get recruited? Like you said, you was playing in the AAU circuit. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty sure all the schools started to try to come after you to go to high school and maybe one of the the private schools. Did you get recruited by any other private schools? Did they try to come get you?
Yeah, so a few different high schools tried to get me. McNamara,
okay.
Of course, St. Stephen's and those schools in Alexandria tried to get me, but I was one of them kids that was like, nah, I'ma just stay public. Like
right.
Mom was like, wanted me to go private for a while, and then when my high school coach decided to come over to TC Williams, he just asked her to give him 1 year with me, and if she didn't think he could make me better and make me good enough to go to the college level, then I could transfer.
Okay.
So ended up staying there. I just knew once I started playing, I didn't want to make that transfer to a private school. So ended up staying at TC my whole career. I went through 3 or 4 different high school coaches at TC while I was there.
Wow.
But all in all, like I had already pretty much had a name for myself at a pretty young age. So for me, it didn't matter what high school I went to. I played for the best AAU program in Virginia with Boo Williams. So
yes, sir. Yeah.
The high school didn't really matter because I was getting the looks during AAU season. I was the youngest person to ever play for Boo Williams' elite team.
Wow.
So I was being able to play with Monica Wright and Jessica Breland and all those kids who was 3 and 4 years older than me, already getting looked at by colleges. So when we were on those AAU circuit games, I was getting noticed too. I think I got my first college offer in 6th or 7th grade from UVA. So I was already pretty much out there at a young age. So the high school really didn't matter as long as I was doing what I was supposed to do on the circuit.
There you go. That's what's up. That's what's up. So all our listeners and viewers, you hear that? You can still go public school and they're gonna come find you if you do what you're supposed to do.
Hooper, they find you anyway.
Yeah, facts. If you can bump, right? No matter where you are, for sure. That's what's up.
And T, when was that moment for you where it kind of hit you that damn, I'm nice in basketball. Like I might can do some things with the basketball. I might can go far, go to college, go to WNBA, whatever the case may be. When did that moment hit you?
I think it was around like 7th to 8th grade, 6th or 7th grade. First, when I started playing with the Fairfax Stars, we already had a bunch of people looking at us then. But then when I was able to go play for Boo Williams, and Boo Williams was asking my mom, like, I need to see her birth certificate because it ain't no way she the age that you telling me she is. That's when I knew I was like, I knew I was going to be able to compete at the next level. For me, it was taking it level by level. Of course, your dream is always to play professionally, but if I could just make it from middle school to high school to college, I was cool. So when I started getting them looks, and those views from them college coaches, I knew I was going to be all right and be able to make it to the next level, and then ultimately the WNBA.
Yeah, and in high school, when you came out, you guys had a really good class of ball players out of the Northern Virginia area. Can you tell us who was your biggest rivalries in terms of team and biggest rivalry in terms of one particular player?
I think in Northern Virginia, by the time I got to high school, it wasn't really no rivalries because we was just winning everything in the district. So that part was pretty easy. Once we got into regions and states, it was a little bit different because it was better teams out there. So I would say our in-district rival was always like Hayfield or West Springfield. Those two teams are always teams we bumped against. And then within the region, Edison always was a team that gave us a good run. But outside of that, we played against Potomac, Woodbridge a couple times. One of my good friends, Lynetta Kaiser, played there. We played against Oakton when Jasmine Thomas was there. We played against Forest Park back when Danny Jackson and Monica Wright was there. So I kind of competed against everybody who was anybody that pretty much came out of Virginia. Whether I was playing against them in high school or against them in AAU or with them in AAU. So when it came to that, it was always all love from anybody in Virginia. We all just wanted to kind of make it to the next level.
That's what's up. So let me ask you something. So for a lot of times, I know for speaking for the fellas, and back in our days, myself, even though I was from Maryland, I was born in, all my family right there from Alexandria. A lot of times, you got that sort of I don't what do I call it, Cole? You have that stereotype about Virginia ball players, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when you go in the DMV, especially, right? Not worldwide, but not around the states, but when you go across the bridge to Maryland, or when you from Maryland, you go to DC, they think you saw, you know what I mean? They think, is it that same thing in girls and women's basketball? Like, they be like, oh, she play out Virginia, ain't no bump out there, or is it like nah, it's just what respected all throughout Maryland, Northern Virginia, and DC?
Nah, I don't think it's as bad on the women's side as it is on the side.
Yeah, on the men's side, yeah.
We had some dogs come out of Virginia, so on the women's side. So I don't think anybody really could say it wasn't no dogs coming out of Virginia on the women's side.
Okay.
So it's different on the women's side than it is on the men. But I know for sure, just knowing some of the guys that came out of Virginia.
Yeah.
When you go across that bridge, they gonna always say you weak.
Yeah, they say that.
You ain't got no dogs.
Yeah, they say that till you give them 40. Or in football, I run past a few motherfuckers, and then I tell them, so you got about 175 on 5 carries or something. Come on, man. They get there halftime. I'm like, shit, party over. Where we going after the game? It's time to pop. But I just wanted to know, because but it's crazy because you said you do know some of your friends. So I guess it's still from way back, and even before we were coming up, that was the stereotype, and it's still like that to this day. You know what I mean? It's a shame, but it's like but it's cool because it put that hunger in you, and it makes you go out and want to, get the respect first from home.
Yeah.
No matter where you from. You know what I mean? Maryland, DC, or Northern Virginia. You know what I mean? A lot of times. So I think that's one thing that makes that DMV. You could tell when somebody from that area, because they play with such a tenacity and that hunger, whether it's on the women's side or the men's side. You know what I mean? So
yeah, sure. That kind of helps when you going to different places, because when you going out to different states and in different parts of the country, and they see that DMV tag on you, they know it's a different type of bump.
Yeah,
kind of come together and just be from DC, Maryland, Virginia. They think that's all the same place.
Yep, for sure.
We compete within ourselves at home, but when you could take it on the road and we become one, it's hard to stop.
No question. Salute.
Man. So T, obviously you were one of the top nationally ranked players in the country. I mean, I've seen anything from you being number 1 to 3, somewhere within that range. When did you get that national exposure? Was it from AAU, like you mentioned, or did you go to I know on the guys' side we go to Nike camp, Adidas camp, stuff like that. So was it a camp where you first kind of caught the attention of everyone in the country?
Nah, for me it was playing AAU. I think I was playing with the Fairfax Stars, and that's when I kind of first started getting noticed. But once I got with Boo, that just blew up. So when I started playing with Boo, that's when I started getting ranked and all of that. But I think that time around that ninth grade, that's when I started really getting noticed. I didn't go to a bunch of camps growing up. I think the only real camps I went to was I went to 1, maybe 2 Nike camps, and then a USA basketball camp. Those are the only 3 camps I went to growing up. For me,
but
I just
you don't need to go to no more camp shit if you go to them. He said USA basketball, Nike. Shit, them the people I go to.
yeah, those are the only camps I went to. I ain't go to no like a lot of people go to these college camps and like exposure camps. Like I didn't go to none of those. I only went to literally those 3 camps, and that's because like once you get noticed and Nike trying to bring you to those camps with the top players, and then USA basketball, of course, top players going to those camps.
Yeah.
So once you get invited to those things, like you don't really got to go to a whole bunch of other stuff.
No question. No question. No. Did you have okay? So you going through TC? Like when you came? Did you play all 4 years? I'm know this for our listeners and viewers. All 4 years on varsity.
Yeah, so in Virginia, we didn't have like a middle school league.
Right.
So 8th grade, you could play high school, but you could only play freshman or JV.
Okay.
So my 8th grade year, I played JV, and then the rest of my 4 years, I played varsity.
You played varsity. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So when you came in as a freshman, or you know what I mean, or whatever the case may be, did you have sort of that junior or senior that sort of took you, under her wing and sort of showed you the ropes, or you just came in and was like, nah, they was hating on you, so you had to go ahead and bust their ass and drop buckets on?
Nah, everybody pretty much embraced me from a young age. Awesome. So I didn't really have that moment where people was like hating on me, because I think when coming in our freshman year, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 of us that were freshmen playing on varsity.
Oh, so, okay. Nice.
Yeah, we had a pretty decent class that stuck together from 8th grade all the way up.
Okay.
Together, like all 4 or 5 years in high school. So we had a pretty decent like core group of players that was together. And then my upperclassmen were cool. They just wanted to win. So if that meant throwing me the ball every time down the court, they was gonna throw it to me. If that meant they had to do other things, play defense and that type of stuff, they were gonna do it because they just wanted to win. We didn't have a bunch of like selfish or hating people on our team when I played. And I don't know if that was just because it was everybody knew who I was coming up, or people just wanted to win. Like I never had, and maybe it might have been behind the scenes, but it was never like outright in my face like hating, because it was so much you can hate on, because I was doing what I was supposed to do on my end.
There you go. As you should. Yeah.
And you know what? I think your style of play might have helped with that as well, because when old dog, when I left high school, I didn't go back to watch no high school games. It took some special people to get me to go back to a high school gym to watch the game. And I was at most of T's games, and she had this all around game. I mean, she'll fill up the stat sheet, triple doubles like it wasn't nothing. So when you playing that style of ball and you getting everybody involved, plus you still being the alpha dog and getting the buckets too, everybody feel inclusive. So I think your style of play definitely helped with that camaraderie with your team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because a lot of times they used to tell me I passed the ball too much. Like I needed to go score the ball more.
Yeah.
It made it easier if I can get other people involved, because in the second half it's like, all right, this is the time I got to really turn it on. First half, I buy else a few buckets to make it easier for me. That other people got to be guarded. That's what I'm gonna do. So by the time the fourth quarter came, they already knew that the ball was going to me most of the time anyway. It was like, you got to score. Like ain't no passing the ball around no more at a certain point.
No question. Talk to our listeners and viewers a little bit about your recruitment process. I know you said you got your first letter as a freshman from UVA. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of your recruitment process, and what made you decide on North Carolina besides all the Jordan gear?
Yeah, I was recruited by like damn near every college in the country. I don't think it was like one college that didn't like recruit me. It's funny because my older sister went to Norfolk State, and I told her like, I'm going to Norfolk State. Like, that's where you went there, I'm going there. And she was like, hell no, you can't go there. You gonna get my school under investigation.
Yeah.
Big time to go to Norfolk State. So that was all who I said, that I was gonna go to, but you know, like she said, I was too advanced, too skilled to go to Norfolk State. But UVA was my first visit. I mean, my first letter that I got, and then they just kind of started rolling in after that. Got to my junior year, going into senior year, I took 4 official visits: North Carolina, Duke, Rutgers, and then UVA. And I really loved all those schools. It's crazy because people think it's crazy that I went to Duke and North Carolina. But a lot of my friends, when we were like coming up and talking about the recruit process, a lot of us wanted to go to Duke. So that we just loved the coach there when we were coming up. Coach G was there when we were getting recruited all the way up until probably my junior year of high school.
Okay.
And then up leaving Duke. So that kind of opened the door for other schools. And in North Carolina, they just blew everybody away on my home visits. All my family was there. And then my official visit was amazing. And I probably had the best time at North Carolina. I knew some players there already. Some of my old AAU teammates was already there playing there.
Who was there, if you don't mind? Like who was playing there? If you don't, can you tell some of our listeners and viewers who else was there?
Yeah, I played with Jessica Breland and Shayla White with Boo Williams. Shaysha who was played in Virginia too. She played with the Fairfax Stars. She was there as well. So I knew a good amount of people there already. And nobody really played my position. So it wasn't like I was going in there like trying to compete with people I already knew. It was just going there to like play with people that I had already played with, that I already knew my play. But I really loved UVA. Like they had Monica right there. They had Ariana Moore there. So they had some people there that I played with or like kind of idolized. Monty was like that person that I looked up to out of Virginia.
Yeah.
Those two, they recruited me heavy, and I really loved UVA, but it was just a toss-up decision between the two. And the way North Carolina came in was just crazy. And they all my family like locked in before they had me locked in, and so but everything else kind of just fell into place once I took my official visit.
Yeah, Charlottesville to Chapel Hill, that's a no-brainer. No disrespect to Charlottesville. You know, we got family that went to UVA, but what? Not at all. Shit. What we talking about? See, what we talking about? You know, shit. Chapel Hill, Jordan, Brady. Come on, man. What we talking about? See? All right, no. Ooh, I know you in that locker room and seen all that display of them J's and all.
You know they gonna bring all the J's out and all of that. They gonna have you hooked.
Dang.
Oh man, it's tough to it's tough to man. I can only imagine. But you said, wait a minute, you said 4 visits. You said North Carolina, Duke, UVA,
and Rutgers. Yeah, Rutgers was a different place, but you know, I love Coach Stringer. She was an amazing coach.
Yeah,
a Black woman doing it. So, you know, it was just a different time then, and they had some players already there that was like in my position, and I kind of went into me not going there. But you know, I respect the program, and they got some legends that came out of that program.
Gotcha. That's dope. Salute.
So T, once you got there, you got to North Carolina as a freshman. How was the transition going from high school to college? Did you hit the ground running? Did you take your little bumps and bruises? How did that freshman year go for you?
I mean, I played decent minutes, but it was definitely a transition. Like going from being that star player and the best player to kind of being just a number, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody there was the best player or the star player where they played at. But I caught on fast. I think once I got used to the conditioning and stuff like that, I was all right. And I could kind of fit in anywhere. It was just how I played. I was already like super aggressive. Um, I was already a defensive minded player that could score. So I think that helped me get on the floor quicker because I was willing to do whatever it took to get on the floor, whether that was play defense, um, just be a player that was sit in the corner, while the other players kind of scored all the points, go rebound, do all the dirty work. Um, I was willing to do that at an early age and as a freshman. So getting down and dirty, that helped me get on the floor quicker than some others may have.
Nice.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Go ahead, Cole.
So T, when you was at Carolina for 4 years. When did you say, okay, it's time for me to take a leadership role and be the person that kind of carries my team to any type of success?
I think by sophomore year, I was kind of helping lead the team. My
Mm-hmm.
junior year, the summer before my junior year, I tore my labrum, so I had to have surgery and missed the first half of my junior year. All the conference games I missed. Came back, I think first game ACC play, and kind of helped lead the team as best I could that year. But by senior year, I was kind of doing it all. I think in my 4 years at Carolina, I played every position but center. I started off my freshman year playing a four. I was like an undersized four. By my senior year, I was playing point guard.
Wow.
So for me, it was like whatever the team needed, I was gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
My senior year, like I said, I was playing point guard, and I definitely wasn't no point guard. But I had a lot of people like help me through it. Like our assistant coach, I was in the film room with him almost every day, just learning different ways to be a good point guard. And I even talked to Ivory Latta my senior year on like how to be a good point guard and help get others involved and all of that. Keep the game tempo going, getting the ball in the right places. So I had some good people to help kind of mold me to the end of my senior year and then into my professional career.
That's what's up. That's all. That's
Yeah.
hard. Hey, hold on, Cole. Wait a minute. I got a question about this North Carolina shit. And, God damn. Hey, T. Tell me. I know you got the North Carolina Duke big rivalry, but let our listeners tell somebody, maybe our listeners and viewers, let them know about maybe another rivalry that you had in the within the you got the team North Carolina and Duke, but did you have any like rivalries or little personal rivalries like in like the AC? Y'all was still in the ACC, right?
Yeah, we used to ACC.
In the ACC, also besides Chapel Hill, what is it, the Dean Dome?
We played in Carmichael. My first year and a half, we played in a Dean Dome, and then the rest of my career, we played in Carmichael. So Carmichael, where Michael Jordan played, and then the Dean built after.
Okay.
Because Carmichael was too small for
right.
Then pulling in.
I want to know another what your besides your home, obviously Dean Dome, another place that you like is crazy as far as on campus atmosphere for women basketball. So let our listeners know about those.
When I played, of course the Duke North Carolina rivalry. It don't matter
what it is,
what year it is. It's gonna be filled up for that game. Men, women, it didn't matter.
Don't matter.
NC State was always good too. Like that was always like a rivalry game too. Like a lot of people leave out NC State and just say it's Duke North Carolina, but NC State was starting to get back good because they was good before I went to college, but they were starting to come back alive in those years that I was in college as well. So I think those two were probably like the biggest rivalry games. And then Georgia Tech was always pretty like scrappy too. So they always gave us some good run when I played.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what's up. And what besides Carolina, your favorite stadium, arena, or whatever it's called to play in?
I mean, it didn't really matter where I played. I love playing at Duke just because of the atmosphere. It was small.
Okay.
It felt like the fans were right there on top of you.
Gotcha.
So
like everybody say that. Yeah. Gotcha. Everybody say that about ACC. That everybody say Duke. Yeah. Gotcha. Go ahead, Cole.
And T, with this being March Madness, can you talk to our viewers and listeners about your experience playing in the NCAA tournament and maybe some of your best moments in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I think we made it three out of my 4 years. I don't think we made it my junior year, the year I didn't play half the season. But every other year, I think we made it. I think my deepest run maybe Sweet 16. We made it to Sweet 16 a couple years. But it was always fun. Like now you on a big stage. The ACC was like one of the better conferences, probably the best conference when I was playing. So if you can compete in the ACC, you could kind of compete anywhere. When I was playing, UConn was kind of the team to beat. Like they was winning damn near
every year,
every other year or something like that. So
yeah. Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to big sis Nikisha Sells. What's up, Keish?
Yeah, so playing in the NCAA tournament, that was one of the best times of the year. You get to compete against people from other conferences. You get to compete against some of the best teams in the country. So that's where you kind of made your name if you wasn't already big time. That's where people kind of got to notice you. That's where people got their WNBA contracts made if they wasn't already being drafted or being looked at. So that's where you could kind of make a name for yourself towards the end of the season, and people got to know who you were because those games were on TV. And a lot of women's basketball games weren't on TV back then. So that's where you kind of got seen a little bit more.
Yeah. So like personally for you, what was your best moment in the tournament? If it's something that you can go back and recall, like you was like, wow, this was a special moment for me.
I think it was probably my senior year, probably our first game in the NCAA tournament. My senior year, we played Albany. I probably had one of my career nights. I think I had like 39 or something like that against them. So I would say that was probably one of my best games. But I think my sophomore year I had a really good game against Stanford in the NCAA tournament. I think that was that Sweet 16 game that we made it to. So probably those two games are probably the two most memorable that I can kind of think of off the top of my head.
Yeah. And I saw a crazy stat of yours from, I think it was your sophomore year at Carolina. And you guys played 3 games in the tournament that year. But, you know, you only played 20 minutes per game, but you was averaging just under 11 points, shooting 52% from the field. I'm like, damn, give my girl like 10, 12 more minutes. She putting up 25 on the people, man. I'm like,
hey, we had a good team that year. So I ain't really have to play a whole bunch of minutes. And I probably wasn't in the best shape that time. So 20 minutes was probably good enough. 20 minutes I could have gave at that time.
Way to keep it a buck. Way to be honest.
But you also averaged 9 rebounds.
Yeah, see, when you ain't got to be the main scorer, you got to find ways to get involved. And that's the way you're going to stay on the court. So if I can go a rebound, I'm going to get a couple putbacks. You know, I'm going to get a couple rebound outlets, fast passes for full court layups. Like, that's where I made my money in college, rebounding.
Right.
See, let me ask you something. But let me ask you something. Going back a little bit to your recruitment process, I didn't hear you say University of Maryland. University of Maryland, they pretty much had. I'm trying to think what year did you come out of high school again?
2009.
They didn't. Was the lady there?
Yeah, Brenda Freeze was there when I was. She one of my good friends went to Maryland. She went the year before me. Lynetta Kaiser. She played at Maryland.
Okay.
I didn't want to be super close to home. Like I wanted to be close enough to where like my family could get to me if they needed to. I can get home if needed to, but
Okay.
I didn't like at
45 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
want to get
Okay. Got you. Okay. Okay. So you let her know from the beginning. I'm good on y'all. College ball.
Probably like 10th, 11th grade. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm probably not about to come here.
Okay. All right, cool. I was like, I just thought about that. I'm like, man, they pretty much been having a solid women's basketball team.
They was winning too. When I was
they won it one year. I forgot what year it was.
Yeah, they was winning.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. That's what's up. Go ahead, Cole. My bad.
T, with the environment in the NCAA now with the NIL, how you think you would have? I mean, what you think about the NIL one? Huh?
I would have stayed at home if they had NIL back then. I would have made a lot of money at home back then.
Oh, yeah. You would have been in Charlottesville, UVA.
Yeah, definitely. I was just talking about that with my wife. Like, she played at Mississippi State, stayed at home, and she was like, "Man, if NIL was happening right now, I would have made a killing." I said, "Yeah, I know," and I would have did something completely different. I would have stayed right at home, just like you did, and been making a killing too. These kids making millions. I would have been one of the millions.
Chilling. Already they set themselves up before they even come out of school. So regardless whether they make it to the pros or not, if they do well in college and do what they're supposed to do, you know, they can use that money that they got in NIL and put it in up whatever they want to, you know, go to, you know what I'm saying, after sports. So
exactly.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yes, they lucky when no NIL. When I was there, I would have acted a fool. I already acted a fool. But go ahead, that NIL money, boy, I would have threw that money in my coach's face. I couldn't stand it.
Hey, speaking of acting a fool, real quick, giving a shout out to some of our new listeners and viewers. My man Lee from the work. I got him tuning in, T, watching the show. This is his first time watching the show. I said we got a big town ball on, so he watching the show. He just hit me and said salute. So yeah, I got my boy Lee on there, and you talk about crash. He keep me from crashing out at the job, because you know your boy, I'm wild, T. So he be like, nephew, you gotta relax, man. You gotta relax. So yeah, shout out to my boy Lee and Colin. You already know what it is. I see you went up, but go ahead though.
Yeah. So we know you're a supporter of the NIL. I think we all are. What about the transfer portal? What's your thoughts on the portal, and would have you utilized the portal if it was available for you when you was at UNC?
I think the portal has gotten a little bit out of hand, but you know, NIL has made it that way. If you can go to one school, make 300,000-400,000, transfer, make 500,000, transfer again, make $1 million. Like, I get it, but sometimes I think it could make it hard for basketball in general, just because nobody's staying at one school for 4 years or even 2 years. I done seen kids go to 3 or 4 different schools throughout their career. So I think it kind of hurts basketball in a way, or hurts sports in general in a way, just because nobody's like committed to one school. It's really about who can pay me the most money now. So in that sense, it kind of hurts, because you can't really get a feel for like a team or a school in just 1 year. For me, we built that relationship and that camaraderie over 3 and 4 years of playing together. So I think that's where you kind of lose out, because you make some of your best, you meet some of your best friends, and you make some of your best relationships in college. So you kind of lose that if you're like jumping schools every year. But like I said, I get it. You're gonna follow the money, but if you love the game, the money gonna follow you, and if you're good enough, the money gonna follow you anyway. Just because that's just what it is. You're basing the money off your name. And I know certain schools got more money than others, but you'll make that decision in the upfront versus switching schools 3 or 4 times. So I'm not the biggest fan of the transfer portal, but I understand it. Like, I understand why the kids are jumping in it, but you kind of lose out sometimes. You think you're gonna you're gonna go into the portal and get more money or be in a better situation, and sometimes you end up in a worse situation than you started with.
Yeah, yeah. As a fan, I mean, I think I would have utilized it if I was still a college ball player because I think some players it's beneficial to them. But as a fan watching, like if you're a fan of a specific school or whatever the case may be, it's kind of hard, you know, in 2024 you were great. You were top 10, Final Four, and then 2025 your best 3-4 players gone, and you like, damn, we ain't even make the tournament. So from that aspect, I don't like the transfer portal, and I'm looking at my alma mater, Dayton. They was, I think they went to Sweet 16 last year, and they started off good this year, but I'm like, damn, their best two players. I'm watching one play for Kentucky,
Mm-hmm.
Kobe Brea, and then I'm glad he left though because he almost broke my 3-point record at Newton. But I'm glad that nigga left. Go, but and then and then the boy Kobe Elvis at Oklahoma. I'm like, damn, they had those two. That was their two best players. You may be seeing them still in the tournament, whatever the case may be. But
yeah.
The mid majors can't keep up with that check that them big time.
Yeah,
the mid majors can't. No disrespect to Dayton, I ain't trying to call it a mid major, but I'm just saying. They can't keep up. With that type of bread. So especially Oklahoma or Kentucky.
Right.
Mm-hmm. You talking. Yeah. We don't even need to say it.
Enough said. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
That's crazy.
So T, now we at your senior year at UNC. You had a great career. First team All ACC. What do you start hearing about WNBA and your draft position? Because it's kind of hard for me to believe somebody come from UNC and to do what you've done there in your 4 years and being first team All ACC to not get drafted. That's blasphemy.
Man, yeah. I mean, I think my stock kind of dropped when I got hurt my junior year. I had a decent finish to my junior year, and I had a pretty good senior year. But my class was deep. A lot of players that came out in my draft were talented. And then a lot of players played well, like I said, in that NCAA tournament, and their names rung a lot of bells. So that kind of helped them too. I would say when I didn't get drafted, it was heartbreaking, but I think it was the best. It ended up being one of the best things for me because I was able to go home and play. I talked to Mike Tebow right after the draft, not even 20 minutes after the draft, and he we want you to come to training camp. He was like, only thing I need from you to come when you come to training camp, you gotta drop some weight and then you gotta work on your 3-point shot. And I was like, all right, bet. I had a few weeks just to kind of train at North Carolina, work on my strength and conditioning coach, work on one of my assistant coaches, and just kind of grind out for a few weeks before camp. And ended up going to camp. I made a list of everybody who was on the team, all the players who were guaranteed pretty much, because only a few players that was on guaranteed contract. And then the players that were drafted, I just made a list who could be cut, and then I just went at every one of them players every day. All right, you're not gonna outwork me. I'm not gonna come in and do anything different than what I do as a player. I'm not trying to do the extra stuff. We already got same thing how I was when I went into Carolina, how I went into my Boo Williams team. We already got scores. We already got main players. We already got top 4 draft picks on the team. So I don't have to be that person that come in and try to score and do that type of stuff. So I just went in and did all the little stuff. I played defense crazy. I rebounded crazy. And then I just made a name for myself that way and ended up just checking everybody off the list, checking off the list to the last day. It was just me and one other girl left that I knew could be cut, and I knew we ain't need no post player, and she was a post player, and I was like, oh yeah, I got this. Day before the last day of camp, Mike walked up to me and was like, look, it's only you and one other person left here that's gonna be cut, and he was like, you moving into your apartment today, and that's how he told me that I was making a team.
Wow, that's dope.
It was just I had some great vets. Like, luckily, I ended up playing with Aubrey Latta after I had talked to her throughout my whole senior year about being a point guard. And then Monique Curry, those two kind of just took me under their wing. And even though me and Mo played the same position, she still was like a great vet and a person who kind of like wanted to see me do well. I guess just being from the DMV area.
I don't say shout out to Mo. She from the crib, right? Yeah, for sure.
So those two were great vets. My like to me my first year in the league, my rookie year, and then throughout my career, those two were kind of there pretty much the whole time I was in DC. I think up until my last few years, Mo wasn't there, but my first 3 years or so, Mo was there, and Ivory was there pretty much the whole time I was there as well. So those two just kind of help me just become a great pro and just learn how to navigate the WNBA league.
That's what I was getting ready. That was my next question. I was going to ask you how, as far as the organization, how'd you like playing for the organization, and just the whole from everybody from Sashia. Shout out to my big sis Sashia. I love you. You already know. Don't nothing happen. Well, back then it did nothing happen without Saj. And that whole organization to coach and stuff like that. And one of the things that you said, you wanted to get away from home in college. How did it feel when you started your pro career being at the crib?
Yeah, it was the best place for me to be at that time, at that point in my life. When I ended up making a team in DC, my cousin who helped me get to playing basketball, he got killed. So it was the best place for me to be at that time in my life, in my career. And I loved playing at home. My family was at every home game. They didn't miss no games. I had at least 10 plus people at every game. So it was a blessing to be able to like play professionally at home. I think for college, you want to get away because you want to be able to go act the fool and
there you go.
have
there you
fun.
go. Yeah, for sure.
By the time you get out of college, it's like, oh, now like I'm playing professionally. Everybody want to play at home when they playing pro, like being able to play in the WNBA, playing for a team that's 10 minutes from the crib. Like it was kind of the best thing for me. And I couldn't ask for a better career. I couldn't ask for a better staff that I played for or a better organization to play for, because everybody within that organization, I still kind of have ties to. I still talk to Mike and Eric Tebow. I still talk to Saj every now and then. I talk to Kim every now and then. So I'm still kind of tapped in with those guys. And I think that you build those relationships and those bonds with those people. They just want to see you do well. Because it's a business at the end of the day, and people really don't understand that. So when teams trade a player, they don't really get mad at the team like they do as if a player just leaves. But at the end of the day, you got to realize it's a business. People trying to feed their family, feed themselves. But if you're in an organization like I was in DC, I couldn't ask for a better organization to start my career.
That's what's up. Awesome.
Yeah, that was exciting times. I know I was at almost every home game. My company got a suite 117. I was there, and my daughters, they came with me every game. Got them excited. I finally got them on the basketball court. I was like, T, you doing your job? Because they would even ask me, is T playing tonight? Is T playing tonight? And we'd go to the games, but when you retired, they retired. They're like, man, we
I'm out of here.
I'm done.
For sure. That's
so
great.
Talk to us about your decision leaving the Washington Mystics organization and going out to the West Coast to LA.
Man, that was a tough one for me. I thought I would never leave DC. I thought I was gonna play my whole career there, but I think I kind of just was at a point like we just were at a point in my career where DC was going a different direction, and I just had to figure out like a way that I wanted to go because I still wanted to play. I was my rookie year. We played pretty much equal minutes with the starters coming off the bench as rookies. So I was starting by my second year, halfway through my second year, and I pretty much started all the way up to the 6th year, and then I wasn't playing as much. So they felt like they needed to make a decision not to play me as much, and then I had to make a decision to figure out where I could go to kind of continue to play. But I never thought it would be LA. Like I always said, I never wanted to go out west and play. But I talked to Elena Beard, and she was one of my idols in the league. Like I kind of tried to model my game after hers, um, just the way she kind of played defense and all of that type of stuff. So I talked to her, and she told me the same thing. She was like, "I play in DC," and I said the same thing. I never go play in LA. She was like, "You just got to give it a chance."
Yeah.
And I was like, "You know what? Why not go play in LA? I'm gonna be playing behind. At least I'm gonna be playing behind Elena Beard. I can learn as much as I possibly can. She was towards the end of her career anyway, but I can learn as much as I can. And so I decided to go out there, and I think it was one of the best decisions I made. And the crazy thing is Elena ended up getting hurt in training camp, so I ended up starting going out there, and I wasn't even expecting that, but I had her in my ear pretty much the whole season, and I got to learn so much from her throughout that season. I was out there in LA my first season, uh, and it was just one of the best decisions I could have made. Like as a pro, kind of venturing out for the first time, going through free agency and all of that. I think LA was just the place I kind of ended up uh, feeling the most at home. Like I played with some greats. I played with Candace Parker, Nneka Ogwumike, Chelsea Gray. Like you couldn't ask for a better team that I played with that year. So I think it ended up being a great decision for me to go out there and play in LA.
How'd y'all do that year? When you went out to LA, did y'all make it to the
We
final
made it
West?
to the semifinals that year. We
Okay,
made the finals both years I played in LA.
okay,
Played in
okay.
LA.
That's what's up.
And we glossed over the fact we forgot to even mention you helped carry that Washington Mystics team to the finals.
Yeah, my last year there we went to the finals. The year I left, they won it.
Yeah. Dang.
It's
Yeah.
all good. I feel like I help
Yeah, I'm
create.
about to say you
Bro,
laid
you
the
gotta talk
foundation.
it.
Cause when I
Yeah.
came, my first year in DC, the year before that, they was god awful. So I
Yeah.
feel like we helped create that culture with Mike. He brought in some great players.
Yeah,
He changed the narrative there. So now they become one of the best teams in the league.
yeah.
And we'll see where they kind of go from there. They had some injuries last year. I always want to see them do well in DC.
Speaking of, you being a vet and everything, how do you feel about the WNBA, especially with them getting ready, thinking about maybe doing a lockout? I mean, I know, obviously you still follow it, and obviously they have the bargaining agreement, and former players and stuff like that. Are you happy with how things have gotten better? But you like, well, I'm happy, but nah, it need to get like
Yeah,
this.
they gotta pay them. They gotta pay the women more money. They not asking for millions of dollars. They not asking for NBA money. They just asking for their revenue share and the percentage, same percentage as the men.
Right.
Which is cool. Like, and if they gotta do a lockout, so be it. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what they gotta be. If that's that's what you gotta do to get them to respect you. And you you gotta remember, like, you're the product for real. So if it ain't no players playing, like, ain't no league.
That's right.
So they're gonna respect them one way or another, and I think they're doing a great job. Especially Nneka Ogwumike. She the president of the Players Association. She's always done a great job, kind of bringing things full circle and doing the right thing for the players. So if they gotta lock out, that's just what it is. Until they pay them their money or get them what they deserve, they you gotta do what you gotta do.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm sure it helps that a lot of the women in the W are making a lot of bread outside
Exactly.
of playing in the WNBA. So
Exactly.
yeah, okay, all right, yeah.
They don't
Mm-hmm.
mind sitting out if they already making some money. They don't mind sitting out, especially if it's gonna help them in the long run. They got these TV deals and all of that stuff.
All these endorsement deals, all kinds of
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah.
it's it's crazy that they not making more money. Luckily, they was flying private last year, so that was an upgrade. They increased the salaries and stuff for the last couple of years, so they're doing what they're supposed to do, and it's just going to continue to grow. Like when you got big name players coming into the league, it's just going to continue to help the league grow. Just bringing more viewership with this like social media era, because the WNBA always has had like great players. You always had top dogs. You've seen Diane Taurasi, Candace Parker come through the league, Simone Augustus. And then you still have great players in the league now. So these younger kids who are more visible and you're able to see them more on social media, and they're giving more WNBA and they're giving more college women's teams TV time. If that's what it takes to bring more viewership to the league, so be it. Use them the way the league is going to use them anyway.
Right.
So you just take what you can and continue to try to grow the league for the next generation, because it may not be this group of players that see the money coming in, but in 5, 10 years, we still want the league to be thriving and growing.
No question. No question. That's what's up. Go ahead, Cole.
So T, what led to your decision to ultimately retire from the WNBA?
So when I was playing, I also played overseas, like in the off season. So when I was playing in Israel my last year, I had a heart problem, and it could have came from COVID. It could have came from the vaccine, and I probably could have continued to play after everything was cured. But when they told me I had that heart stuff going on, I was like, nah, I'd rather live than hoop.
That's right.
So I think that's what ultimately led to my decision to retire. But like I said, the doctor said I could have came back and played after, but I just didn't want to like risk it. It was too much going on with COVID and players having these heart issues pop up after COVID and after taking those vaccines. So I think that was kind of the ultimate decision to kind of just hang it up. And I was towards the end of my career anyway. In my mind, I just wanted to play 10 years in the W. 10 years pro and then kind of transition into something else. Now I got to 9 years pro, 8 years in the W. I don't think that's a bad career.
Awesome.
No, that's a great career.
Yeah.
This is great. 2 years is good in any type of professional. You getting paid to play. You getting paid to play something that we love and we did as a kid. What you talking about? And the fact that you did it at the highest level with the best of the best. Come on, man. It's already for sure.
So speaking of that, T, you've been playing basketball since 6, 7 years old. Just something you've been doing all your life, all the way through the high school ranks, college ranks, to the professionals. And then when you announce your retirement, how was that transition of leaving the game of basketball and now you have to start your second chapter, so to speak?
I mean, I think it was easier than I thought it would be, and it was only easier than I thought it would be because my wife was still playing. So I was still able to be around the game. I was still able to be at the games, like in WNBA arenas. And then I transitioned to go work at Nike, so I was still around sport anyway. So I think that helped too. So I didn't really miss it my first. I want to say like my first like year or two, because my wife was still playing. But I think I started to miss it more this year than anything because my wife is coaching at Mississippi State, and I've been able to like be around the game a lot more and up close, like in practices and stuff, watching, and then on the road and stuff, going to games. And I think that part of it I missed, that like team camaraderie and like being around and having your teammates. That part of the game I miss more than like actually playing it. So I think this year was the year I was like, damn, I actually kind of miss it a bit. But the transition was smooth. Like I went straight from playing to Nike, so it wasn't no like sitting down and not having no money coming in, no income, or figuring out what I wanted to do. I kind of had the best transition I could have possibly had, just going from one thing to the next.
Hold on, T. Hold on, T. We're not just going to just skip and just say you said I went from playing in the WNBA to, no disrespect, Converse or New Balance. You went to Nike. That's all I do. I love Nike. Jordan. You hear me? That's the best of the best. What we talking about?
Yeah, it couldn't have happened. It couldn't have been a smoother or better chance other than going to being able to coach somewhere where I played, whether it's at my alma mater in North Carolina or somewhere pro. So I don't think it could have been a better situation than going into Nike.
Did you have to go to? But you did say that earlier. You said you got to go up to the campus up there in Oregon, huh?
Yeah, I've been living out in Oregon since what 2022.
Nice, beautiful campus. Got a chance to visit. Got a chance to visit. Well, when it's not
right.
There you go. Man, it's tough on them. But our OG, our big brother Sean Springs, who played in Seattle back in the day, he was one of the first people to go to Nike and test the Vapor Cleat. So when the Vapor Cleat came out years and years ago, 2001, whatever, 99, 2000, whatever it was, they flew him down, and I was able to go with them to the actual campus and see the campus for the first time. And they let him test out that Vapor shoe, him and a couple other players or whatever, man. And it was, and I know it's nothing like that now. You talking about 20 some years ago, but just to see it back then, it was awesome. It was awesome.
Yeah. They still do some tests. They still do some testing stuff on new products coming out. So
yeah,
that's always a cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Salute.
OG Fredo said, "Tell Tierra I wear a size 10 and a half."
OG, what's up, Fredo? That's what's up.
Yeah, for sure. So, just transitioning, we in March Madness. Who you like? What players are you watching? How you think your Tar Heels going to do?
Man, I'm a fan of the game, so I just like to see good basketball. Like it was tough. I was at the game the other day when Juju went down there. He was playing against my wife's team, State. So it was hard to see her kind of go down as one of the best basketball players in college basketball right now. But it's a basketball play. Like it happens.
Yeah.
You see plenty of players just go down from just basketball plays. But as long as we can see good games, I'm cool. I don't really care who win. I hope my Tar Heels, of course, win. Just being an alumni. But there's some great teams out there. You got South Carolina, UConn, Texas. Like those, I watched Texas play all year. Just being able to see like SEC games up close. And they coached by a good coach, just like South Carolina. And of course, you can never count out UConn with Gino. And they got some great players that are all playing at a high level right now. And then you got UCLA. Like you got those teams out west. People count USC out because Juju got hurt, but the way I seen them play against Mississippi State once she went down, they still look like a Final Four team to me without her. So I mean,
they got the other freshman. Yeah, they got the other freshman. Well, I mean, they got the freshman, not the other freshman, Juju, a sophomore, but they got that fresh. I think she a freshman or sophomore.
I think her name Arafin or something like that. She played a 4 or 5.
Senior, yeah. She's tough. So I wouldn't count them out either. So it's gonna be a lot of good games this weekend, and we're gonna see a lot of good basketball on the women's side. So I'm excited. I'm of course I'm rooting for my Tar Heels. But like I said, it's some great teams. I love watching Tierra make the Duke team back to Bring them back to where they are and where they were.
Shout out to
Tierra. So always salute somebody I played with and seeing them succeed. So like I said, it's gonna be some great games. It's gonna be interesting to see who wins.
Yeah, you're right. USC still did look good. I was like, damn, I thought the gap was going to close a little bit the other night, but
they still look good. They still look good without Juju. Juju bring a different to them, but I think with Juju going down, that's going to bring that team a lot closer together, and people forget they still got players on that team. That compete. So don't count them out. They got a good little run to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I think
one of our good friends, his niece was at North Carolina, but she transferred and now she at Oregon. Daisy Kelly. Yeah. Is Oregon still in it, or they lost?
That portal will do it to you.
Yeah, every time.
But they was killing that North Carolina. They had a great run. She was balling. All AC doing her thing.
Yeah, she played well at Oregon this year too. I followed her career a little bit at Oregon, but hey, North Carolina's still playing well, and they still
they doing
it. So can't complain.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had USC as winning it all, but my only thing, I think without Juju, I don't know if they can beat UConn. I think they need her to beat UConn.
That's gonna be the test.
Yeah.
I think they'll win this next game. I think they got Kansas State. I think they got a good chance of beating Kansas State. Then they got UConn. So we'll see. Like I think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think it'll be a good game even without Juju. But like you said, they got Paige. They got AZ. They got Sarah Strong. Like they got some players that you got to be able to compete with. But like I said, I wouldn't count USC out. I think they got a good team, and I think their coach will figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she gonna figure it out next year.
Yeah, that's the interesting part. Like that's gonna be where it gets hard. I think Kiki may be able to come back another year. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure she's gonna leave and go pro after this year, and that'll leave a gap, especially if Juju isn't back healthy for the next season.
Yeah, sure. That's what's up.
So, Cuzzo, that's the portion of the show, man. We gotta do rapid fire before we let T get out of here. You got some I know you got some rapid fire questions for. We're gonna try to make it as difficult as possible, but they typically not.
they really be they ain't even that tough.
You want to start off, Cuz, or me?
No, you got it.
All right.
You got
it. So we'll start off with this one. We'll warm you up. Start, bench, or cut. Candace Parker, Lisa Leslie, Asia Wilson.
Ooh. Start Candace. Bench Asia.
Ooh. she gonna cut the legend.
I'm telling you, that's you got legends, but you got some legends along with that legend, because I think Candace Parker can go down as one of the greatest players that ever played the game of basketball.
Right.
So even though like she played with Lisa Leslie, and I'm sure she'll give Lisa Leslie her flowers, and I do too. I said, but I watch Candace up close, and Candace is a different breed, and same with Asia. Like, not too many people can do what Asia's been doing in the league over the last few years.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Go ahead, Cuz.
That's tough. Mine's is simple. Are you football? Any other sports?
I watch it, but I'm not like a super fan.
You're not like other sports. Okay, Michael Jordan or LeBron? It's rapid fire, T.
But because LeBron, he wearing 23 and all of that because of Jordan, but what LeBron has done in this league over all these years, it's hard to go against him. He went on a run so crazy to the final. Bro, he has the most points in NBA history. He's still playing at a high clip, and he's 40 plus. Like, come on. Let's be real. Jordan is a legend. Don't get me wrong, but
you went to a school with the man on your shirt jersey.
Did Jordan do what LeBron has done?
Jordan didn't have to do it. He was chilling, shooting, playing golf, doing F1 formula.
What you saying? But we're talking about something that'll never be done ever again.
What, 6 championships?
Playing till you 40.
Many people won 6 championships.
Michael Jordan was somewhere in the south of France on his yacht, chilling, making uniforms.
But if could Jordan still be playing at 40?
He did. Sashir was at the game.
Yeah, that was a shell. That wasn't Michael Jordan. That wasn't Mike.
But what Bron on is incredible. And
no question. No question. I'm a LeBron fan, no question about it. But yeah, Mike. Go ahead, Cole.
Hey, Mike is the GOAT of uniforms and shoes. Salute to him.
That's all right. He to go. Hey, look, you're not gonna get me in a lower mind. It's all good. Go ahead.
He ain't take the bait, T.
No.
All right, I got another start bench cut one. Caitlin Clark, Juju, Paige Beckers.
That's a tough one. But right now, I would have to say Caitlin Clark. Start Caitlin Clark. Paige, I want to say Paige, but I love Juju. I'm going to have to bench Juju and cut Paige.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What you got, cuz?
Air Force Ones or Dunks? Yeah.
Hey, only Air Force Ones I'm wearing is white. Dunks, I can kind of switch the style up, so I'm gonna go with Dunks.
Okay, got
you. Name your top 5 WNBA players of all time.
Maya Moore, Candace Parker, DT, Cheryl Swoops.
Ooh.
And this one, people might think I'm crazy, but Simone Augustus.
She was a monster. I don't know why people think they crazy. They don't know basketball. They don't know basketball. For sure. Go ahead, Cole.
All right. I got 2 more for you.
All right.
Best female Titan basketball player. Tierra Ruffin-Pratt or Kathy Grimes?
Next question.
I love Kathy Grimes, but come on. I'm not going to.
I just wanted to hear stand on business. real quick.
That was tough. Go ahead.
I broke the record, so when I broke the record, I think that solidified me as being the best female to come out of there.
That's tough.
I agree
tough.
Too.
That's tough. Go ahead, Cole.
Last one, and this what we ask every DMV legend that come through that's a hooper. So if you could take 10 other players besides yourself from the DMV, I don't care who it is, high school, college, pro, whoever, street ball legends, whatever the case may be, and take them with you to play in LA, Chicago, New York, wherever, against the best competition in the world, who would those 10 players be that you would take with you to go to battle?
Then you should have gave me this question ahead of time so I could think of
That's why I was rapid fire. I got to put you in that hot seat.
you saying some DMV legends.
It don't matter, and it could be before you, after you, whenever.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because I'm just take a bunch of people from my side, like Bogey,
Shout out to Bo.
Ahmad,
That's two.
Jay Moore.
Lil J.
Yeah. Who else would I take? Of course, you Cole.
Oh shit! I mean the roster.
NBA side that I could think of off the top of my head, right now.
See, you ain't gotta be politically correct because he on here.
That Cole was cold. Like, I'm just thinking about all VA guys for real.
Man, get him a pillow.
How many was that?
That's 4.
That's 4.
I got some more space outside of me. I'm trying to go younger too. Let's think. Glenn Andrews was tough coming out of TC.
Shout out Glenn.
Who else? I'm thinking. I'm like blanking on a lot of names right now.
So you got 5. Give us 5 more.
10 is a lot.
You need some subs.
I'm going over to the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring on the women's side. I'm gonna bring Monica Wright.
Nice.
I'm gonna bring Lynetta Kaiser. I'm gonna bring Jasmine Thomas. This is literally all VA people, huh?
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
That's 3.
2 more. You need 2 more.
4 women. I'm gonna bring. Oh, you know who was tough coming up? Dorita Campbell.
Oh yeah, she went to UCLA or something.
UCLA.
Yeah.
She always gave me a good run in high school. And then my last one, I'm trying to think of one more somebody younger than me that came up that was tough. It's a young kid that play at Ireton that's going to North Carolina. Her name Nyla Brooks. I think that's her name. I'm gonna bring some young kids with me.
Yeah.
I'll put her in the mix.
Okay. There it is. That's the mob.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's definitely tough. Shoot. Well, look, we at the end of the show. T, is there any last words that you would like to say to any of our viewers or listeners that may be watching this show? Young kids may want to follow in your footsteps to being a elite athlete, student athlete. Any words that you would like to leave them with?
Yeah, for sure. I think the main thing is always bet on yourself. If you putting the work in and you grinding and you doing the right things, always bet on yourself and never give up on your dreams and what you want to do in life. That's kind of been my motto. If you can dream it, you can do it. So just always bet on you, and if you put in the work, everything will kind of come to fruition.
Yep.
That's tough.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, T, we want to thank you from the No Cap Sports Show podcast for joining the show. It was definitely a pleasure and an honor. You know, it was a long time coming. This was an awesome show. You're welcome to come back anytime. You family, even if it's just to pop in and talk some shit. You know,
not about no LeBron. Not about no LeBron.
Hey, tell your pops. You know your pops who turned me into a 3-point shooter. You know.
Yeah. Hey, I remember those days.
Yeah. Had me in tears some days in the gym.
Shout out to my Uncle Carl.
Oh.
We love you. We appreciate you.
Hey,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, thank you, viewers and listeners, for rocking with us once again this week. This was the No Cap Sports Show podcast with Tierra, Ruffin-Pratt. Continue to support us and tune in each and every week. We're going to keep bringing you that heat. Like always, respect and honor. Salute.
Salute.